Well, I'm Rikk Beatty, product specialist and clinician with Ampeg, and I'm here at Louie G's, my absolute favorite place to play in Washington State, in Fife, Washington. And I'm here with the owner, Louie, and sound guy, Chris. And basically, I just wanted to ask you guys what you thought of the GVT amps when you first heard them. This was one of the very first places in Washington, club-wise, to be able to hear the amps in an actual concert situation. And I wanted to see what you guys thought of them in comparison to the gear I was using before and the gear you just hear on a daily basis.
Daily basis, yeah. Go ahead, Chris. You're the sound guy.
For one, it's got to be one of the most cleanest, clearest, most cutting-edge amps I've heard in a long time. And I've run thousands of amps in the past couple of years, and you can't get that. You just can't. It cuts right through everything. You don't have to work the EQ to make it work for you because the amp does all the work. So I mean, it's just phenomenal.
So you just have to play.
Yeah, just play.
I think sound-wise, all the amps that we've had in here, since February 2011 to now, the cleanest sound that comes through our mains in our system, which we do run a Mackie 32.8 board, and the sound that comes through an Ampeg amp is way cleaner. Of course, Rick's guitar playing also helps, but yeah, we can hear the difference in the venue itself of what Ampeg's bringing to the table. I've heard a lot of amps, and there's just not that tone, there's not that definition, there's not that, it just cuts through the crowd. Yes. We almost don't have to bring you up through the mains, it just cuts.
That's what I was going to ask if there's anything different that you notice that you have to do on the board in comparison to other amps as far as EQ wise.
Very little
for Chris.
With these. I mean,
but what I noticed is look at the size of these amps.
Yes.
Compared to these guys that bring in, I mean, we've seen big other, brand names with big stacks and just blare, and I'll throw these up against it any day because, and it's great for a smaller venue. They get to come and bring a smaller amp with that same big sound. It just rips right through, and Chris hardly has to do anything. It's dial it in, and there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I love it. You can't get any better. The design is simple, solid, and you can't get better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about them is the looks. They look like a vintage amp. It looks like, when you walk up to them, you expect to hear a vintage tone.
Right.
And I know because from what the music that I play in the band, you don't really get to hear as far as like a jazz sound or a blues sound. But it's definitely something I want you guys to check out and tell me what you think.
It would be interesting to hear some of our blues guitars come through and play through this, because your style is your style,
right?
And we haven't heard it through anything else but Rikk Beatty style. But there's been some guitarists that we would, throw me some blues kids that we got that come in here. I would love to hear that different with the Telecaster or the Fender Strat, that sound that's ripping through these Ampegs. I don't think any other amps will compete, honestly. And I'm not saying that because we're sitting here talking about Ampeg. Realistically, what we've seen since February 2011, since we opened our venue to now, I don't see it, man. I really don't. And then break out the pricing. It'll probably compete. It's going to compete, especially with the economy these days. Break out the pricing with this style and this product. Man.
See, and that's the thing. The GVT 52 that I play through, these are $749, so $750 in the stores, and each one of the EW cabs is $299. So for under $1,000, it's a pretty enormous sound. And I'm never even on 3 volume wise here. So
you're never really loud through here, and we're pushing 8,000 square feet in here.
Yeah.
So, and that's cutting straight through the whole restaurant, the whole venue.
Absolutely.
Right. So, break out a big, huge stack and break out an Ampeg. I'll throw it up against it any day of the week. Just what we've seen since February 2011. Not a problem. But break it down to different tones. We have the Vallejos, the Boxes, and we could throw names all day on the bands. But bring in their amps and let's throw them up against there. But there's some great guitar players that came through that we would like to hear that sound, which we will be soon, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So people are going to be buying them up because it's you're selling a product and the quality's there, the sound's there, the thickness, the tones that, like you're saying, you play on 3 and it just cuts through this venue. So I can only imagine. Take it to an arena, it'll do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it to an arena, it'll do the same thing.
Well, cool. Well, thanks you guys for being on here.
Rock on.
It's always great to be here.
I know, man.
All right. Well, I'm Rikk Beatty with Ampeg, and thanks for watching.
All right.
Right, go.
Now remember when you guys talk, that camera.
Which one? The big one or the little one?
Yeah,
The little one?
mine. Yeah.
Well, I don't know which one's yours and which one's
The
Rick's.
real camera.
I
The
quit.
center one?
Yeah.
Yes.
We like to clip. We are the knights who say clip. Clip, 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 clip,
We're
clip.
recording.
We're Paul's being an ass. Rick's a cool guy. Rick plays Ampeg amplifiers.
Now let's get plowed.
Loud it is.